Argonaut animal. The Argonauts genus Argonauta. They are also called paper nautili, referring to the paper-thin eggcase that females secrete. This structure lacks the gas-filled chambers present in chambered nautilus shells and is not a true cephalopod shell, but rather an evolutionary innovation unique to the genus. It is used as a brood chamber and to trap surface air to maintain buoyancy. It was once speculated that Argonauts did not manufacture their eggcases but utilized shells abandoned by other organisms, in the manner of hermit crabs. Experiments by pioneering marine biologist Jeanne Villepreux-Power in the early 19th century disproved this hypothesis, as Villepreux-Power successfully reared Argonaut young and observed their shell's development. Argonauts are found in tropical and subtropical waters worldwide. They live in the open ocean, i.e. they are pelagic. Like most octopuses, they have a rounded body, 8 limbs, arms, and no fins. However, unlike most octopuses, Argonauts live close to the surface rather than on the seabed. Argonauta species are characterized by very large eyes and small webs between the tentacles. The funnel mantle locking apparatus is a major diagnostic feature of this taxon. It consists of knob-like cartilages in the mantle and corresponding depressions in the funnel. Unlike the closely allied genera Ocythoe and Tremoctopus, Argonauta species lack water pores. Of its names, Argonaut means sailor of the Argo paper nautilus is derived from the Greek nautilos naftalos, which literally means sailor, as paper nautili were thought to use 2 of their arms as sails. This is not the case, as Argonauts swim by expelling water through their funnels. The chambered nautilus was later named after the Argonaut, but belongs to a different cephalopod order, Nautilida. Description: sexual dimorphism and reproduction. Argonauts exhibit extreme sexual dimorphism in size and lifespan. Females grow up to 10 cm and make shells up to 30 cm, while males rarely surpass 2 cm. The males only mate once in their short lifetime, whereas the females are oviparous, capable of having offspring many times over the course of their lives. In addition, the females have been known since ancient times, while the males were only described in the late 19th century. The males lack the dorsal tentacles used by the females to create their eggcases. The males use a modified arm, the hectocautilus, to transfer sperm to the female. For fertilization, the arm is inserted into the female's pallial cavity and then becomes detached from the male. The hectocautilus, when found in females, was originally described as a parasitic worm. Eggcase. Case. Female Argonauts produce a laterally compressed calcareous eggcase in which they reside. This shell has a double keel fringed by 2 rows of alternating tubercles. The sides are ribbed with the center either flat or having winged protrusions. The eggcase curiously resembles the shells of extinct ammonites. It is secreted by the tips of the female's 2 greatly expanded dorsal tentacles, 3rd left arms before egg laying. After she deposits her eggs in the floating eggcase, the female takes shelter in it, often retaining the male's detached hectocautilus. She is usually found with her head and tentacles protruding from the opening, but she retreats deeper inside if disturbed. These ornate curved white eggcases are occasionally found floating on the sea, sometimes with the female Argonaut clinging to it. It is not made of aragonite as most other shells are, but of calcite, with a 3-layered structure and a higher proportion of magnesium carbonate 7% than other cephalopod shells. The eggcase contains a bubble of air that the animal captures at the surface of the water and uses for buoyancy, similarly to other shelled cephalopods, although it does not have a chambered phragmocone. Once thought to contribute to occasional mass strandings on beaches, the air bubble is under sophisticated control, evident from the behavior of animals from which air has been removed under experimental diving conditions. Most other octopuses lay eggs in caves. Neil Monks and C. Phil Palmer speculate that before ammonites died out during the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, the Argonauts may have evolved to use discarded ammonite shells for their egg-laying eventually becoming able to mend the shells and perhaps make their own shells. However, this is uncertain, and it is unknown whether this is the result of convergent evolution. Argonauta argo is the largest species in the genus and also produces the largest eggcase, which may reach a length of 300 mm. The smallest species is Argonauta botteri, with a maximum recorded size of 67 mm. Beak. The beaks of Argonauta species are distinctive, being characterized by a very small rostrum and a fold that runs to the lower edge or near the free corner. The rostrum is pinched in at the sides, making it much narrower than in other octopuses, with the exception of the closely allied monotypic genera Ocythoe and Vitrilledonella. The jaw angle is curved and indistinct. Beaks have a sharp shoulder, which may or may not have posterior and anterior parts at different slopes. The hood lacks a notch and is very broad, flat, and low. The hood-to-crest ratio F/G is approximately 2.4. The lateral wall of the beak has no notch near the wide crest. Argonaut beaks are most similar to those of Ocythoe tuberculata and Vitrilledonella richardi, but differ in leaning back to a greater degree than the former and having a more curved jaw angle than the latter. Feeding and defense. Feeding mostly occurs during the day. Argonauts use tentacles to grab prey and drag it toward the mouth. It then bites the prey to inject it with venom from the salivary gland. They feed on small crustaceans, mollusks, jellyfish, and salps. If the prey is shelled, the Argonaut uses its radula to drill into the organism, then inject the toxin. Argonauts are capable of altering their color. They can blend in with their surroundings to avoid predators. They also produce ink, which is ejected when the animal is being attacked. This ink paralyzes the olfaction of the attacker, providing time for the Argonaut to escape. The female is also able to pull back the web covering of her shell, making a silvery flash, which may deter a predator from attacking. Argonauts are preyed upon by tunas, billfishes, and dolphins. Shells and remains of Argonauts have been recorded from the stomachs of Alepisaurus ferox and Coryphena hippurus. Male Argonauts have been observed residing inside salps, although little is known about this relationship. Classification. The genus Argonauta contains up to 7 extant species. Several extinct species are also known. The valid extant species are Argonauta argolineus, 1758, Argonauta hyans Lightfoot, 1786, Argonauta nodosus Lightfoot, 1786, Argonauta nuri Leroy, 1852, while the following taxon is regarded as a nomen dubium. Argonauta cornutus Bosc, 1801, with the species regarded as valid extinct taxa R, plus Argonauta obsceatus Martel and Barker, 2006, plus Argonauta itoigoitomida, 1983, plus Argonauta joanneus Hilber, 1915, plus Argonauta ori Fleming, 1945, plus Argonauta sismondi Bellardi, 1872, plus Argonauta takaneva Yakoyama, 1913. The extinct species Nautilus awensis was originally assigned to Argonauta, but has since been transferred to the genus Nautilus. Dubious or uncertain taxa. The following taxa associated with the family Argonautidae are of uncertain taxonomic status. In design, the Argonaut was inspiration for a number of classical and modern art and decorative forms, including use on pottery and architectural elements. Some early examples are found in Minoan art from Crete. A variation known as the double Argonaut design was also found in Minoan jewelry. In literature and etymology, Argonauts are featured in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, noted for their ability to use their tentacles as sails, though this is a widespread myth. A female Argonaut is also described in Marion Moore's poem, The Paper Nautilus. Argonauta is the name of a chapter in Enmaro Lindbergh's Gift from the Sea. Paper nautiluses were caught in the Swiss Family Robinson novel. Argonauts gave their name to an Arabidopsis thaliana mutation and, by extension, to Argonaut proteins. The animal has no connection to the heroes, the Argonauts, in Greek mythology. Their name comes from their ship, Argo, named after its builder, Argus.